All right, so today I want to talk with you a little bit about helping kids find their focus and through yoga poses, and let's talk a little bit about some examples of sequences that we can use in our practice with our kids. So, one thing, I don't think that we need a ton of props when we're doing yoga with kids. I don't. But I will say that there are some manipulatives that I find really useful with kids. There's some visual aids and props that I find to be really useful with kids. I will never, let's see, if it's something you can make on your own, I should say this. I shouldn't say never, but if it's something easy that you can make on your own or that you can have the kids make, then I would recommend not investing a lot of money. So, for instance, there are lots of different sets of kids' yoga poses cards, right? So that you can use and play games with. And I get it. It's a real quick visual cue for kids, and probably where it works really great is in classrooms. But I prefer to have kids make their own yoga cards, so they can find little ways to draw or find little representations of what it might look like each pose, and then make their own little cards. So but those are the kinds of decisions I make. You can obviously pick and choose as you like what products are useful for your studio or your classroom. But one thing, so that gets me to my point, one thing that I really do love to have when I'm working with kids is these have a name. I should look up this name. I have only called them breathing balls. And we use these for a lot of things, right? So one thing we use these for is to help kids really have a visual cue and a real tangible cue of how to focus their breaths and how to remember their breaths, right? So let's practice that. So one thing we use it for is to focus our breath. So we know, we've practiced this a little bit, we know that our yoga breathing is a little different and a little more focused because we're really engaging our core and really expanding our diaphragms. So we know that when we we know when we breathe in through our noses, our tummies go out. And when we breathe out, our tummies come in. And we really want to help kids practice that because that's going to be the way to get them the most soothing amounts of air, the kind of oxygen that their bodies are going to need to feel really recharged, to feel really focused, to get control of their bodies and their minds, right? Because that's really a big part of what we're doing. So, using the breathing ball helps us to really see what it looks like, because it can be hard to practice, right? So, I will sit with the kids just for a little bit because let's remember all the kids we're going to be working with, every age, right? Their attention spans are pretty short when it comes to this kind of stuff. So what we don't want to do is have our activities go too long and lose them and have them tune out, right? Because engagement is key. So we'll take our breathing ball and just do it for a few seconds, just a few breaths. And I'll do it actually sometimes just throughout the class, throughout the school day, depending on what we're doing. I'll just grab the ball and they come to recognize this as a cue, right? I'm big on cues, visual cues, verbal cues. So they come to recognize this as a cue to, I better check in with my breath, right? And checking in with their breath is also a cue for them to check in with their body. So it's not just about the breathing, it's also about how is your body feeling, how are your emotions, how's your energy, and those are all the things that they're going to come to learn and practice with their yoga practice and with their mindfulness practice, right? So again, this is a big cue for them. So wherever we're at, we could be sitting on our mats, we might be sitting at our desks, we might be sitting on our peanut, wherever we're at. We take a second, feet on the ground or cross legs, however they're most comfy, and shoulders up and back. Get lots of room, lots of space up here in the chest, right? But don't prep them too much because this doesn't need to be perfect. This is just about breath. So we're going to take a big deep breath in, and when the ball expands, you breathe in and your tummy goes out. Your tummy does just what the ball does. Ready? and in. All right, your tummy should look just like the ball and follow my breaths. Ready? Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, my ball keeps getting a little stuck. Let me find a good spot. All right, so a way to cue your kids and to work through this exercise with them is to say, tummies follow the ball and your breath follows my breath. Ready? Okay, so breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, 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 good. Okay, so another way to do that is to have a little stuffed animal and have the kids lie on their backs, like I will do here. So you have the kids come to their backs, wherever they're at. It can be a yoga mat or not. This is just for breathing. And rest a little animal, little fuzzy guy or girl on their tummies, and have them be in a space where they can see it, right? So they might want to hold their heads up, support their heads, and when they breathe in, the animal goes up, and when they breathe out, it goes down. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And sometimes, if I'm working with very small kids who do best when things are like a story, right? Like a game or a story. You can do a breathing story with pretend your body's the ocean and your little friend is taking a swim, and they can make their tummy do the wave up and down to give a nice soothing ride to their little friend, right? Okay,